name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again so much for watching. I know you could be doing anything else, and we hope we're giving you some information out there that you can take with you throughout your entire life. We're going to talk a little bit about going on trips. So this 1 hour segment will be breaking for commercial breaks in just a few minutes, but I wanted to mention travel, and so a lot of you have made suggestions about that, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about traveling alone. Sometimes people just you just want to go take a trip. You just want to be by yourself and just experience the world just a little bit, but there's some pitfalls to that too. So hopefully I can help you in the future and find these pitfalls that could happen and ruin your trip. And I don't want that to happen. And also some ways to save money on that. Now, there is an art to traveling alone, so we need to talk about getting out of your comfort zone. So that's number one. You have to really be careful, but have fun on the trip at the same time, okay? So if you're looking to travel by yourself, there's some tips that can help you get out of that comfort zone. Let's talk just a little bit about researching your destination. Learn as much as you can, by the way, the area you're traveling to, and this includes the climate, cultural norms, local laws, and customs. And let's talk about climate just for a minute. So, you know what? It's a little colder up north. I remember feeling actually won a trip, and so we traveled up north to New York, and we decided we wanted to go to Niagara Falls. It was in the summertime, but it was still cool. Now, a good thing I am cold-natured, because I always carry a sweater around or a jacket anyway everywhere I go, because a lot of inside conditions are going to keep it so cold you could almost hang meat. So I was really prepared for that trip to Niagara Falls. It was a fun trip too, and but now there's some issues that you need to know about when you're traveling and you're close to a border. So let's talk about that for a few minutes. Niagara Falls is gorgeous on the American side, but when you get on the Canadian side, I don't know, it's breathtaking, even more so. It's just beautiful. Now, in order to go across that border, you got to make sure you got a passport. Otherwise, anybody who has a passport you're traveling with, they'll get to go across and you won't be able to. Make sure you got a passport. Make sure all that stuff is up to date as well. Okay, make sure you know what kind of let's talk about cultural norms too. So this is something we went to. We're going to Africa on a trip, and we're helping some missionaries out there. The guys at the church actually were helping with the construction crew, and I got to go because the guys like my biscuits. So I was there cooking for them, me and a couple of other ladies, and we just had ourselves a blast. But we were actually delayed, and we stayed in England for just a little while. So some of the words that we say here in the United States have a total, even though they're speaking English, same language, still a total different difference in wording. So you need to check that out. Just make sure you're not saying the wrong thing and offend somebody when you get over there. And of course, it could, you don't mean anything by it, but you just really need to know their vocabulary and what words mean when you go to a different place, and their customs and their local laws as well. I know when COVID hit, a lot of folks who were traveling abroad, we had some pretty stiff restrictions and wearing masks and that kind of thing. So other countries and even other states, like we were much more relaxed here in the South than they were up north here in the United States. So you need to know what their laws, you want to blend in. And the reason I'm saying that, you're not giving in to anything. It's just that you want to blend in, because if you look like you're a traveler, guess what? The scammers are going to be out there. They're going to be walking all around you trying to steal your hard-earned cash. So be super careful. So again, learn about the climate. Learn about all these different things. You got to know how to dress when you go somewhere, right? And you want to travel as light as possible when you're traveling, because you know what? It costs you a lot of money to carry another baggage. The more luggage you bring, the more it's going to cost you, in other words, on the trip. Make sure you get a good idea of what kind of holiday you're looking for, and budget. Yeah, you need to know what their money spends like versus here. Okay, and do a little research, even if you're traveling from one state to the other. Some states are just a little friendlier to live in. That's why we say you're thinking about opening up a business or starting a business or an expansion, come to Bama. We got some really neat laws out here. And very, very friendly to folks who want to start a business as well. Let's see. Once you got all this information, you can begin to search online for information about the destination. Start by looking at the official tourism website of the destination. Go to the local chamber of commerce, find that out. And that's where you can really get really, really good information. You don't have to worry so much about pop-up ads when you're checking with the Chamber of Commerce, by the way. And start by looking at the website. Again, Chamber of Commerce is a good one. And it's a good resource for finding out information such as the best time to visit, where you need to stay, and what you need to do. Absolutely. You can also find out what other travelers have had to say about the destination. We go to a website, it's called Vrbo, V-R-B-O, when we're going to take a trip somewhere. And I really like Vrbo because we really don't like staying at hotels. I mean, I can, but I'd rather not. First of all, it's not going to cost as much, and you're not going to be bombarded with like people being too loud, partying or whatever. And usually you stay in somebody's house, maybe in the nice basement. We've stayed in some basements of houses before that were like really super nice, like a big hotel or something, better than a hotel. Think about what you're going to do when you're on the trip. Like if you don't want to eat out too much, and maybe you want to bring cold cuts or something like that, make sure they got a refrigerator for you can keep that stuff in. And also make sure they got coffee. Oh my goodness, yeah, everywhere you go, you get coffee. And just read up on them. And when you go to Vrbo and you're looking for a destination, let me tell you something really good. And so when you're searching for a destination, do look at the comments. Okay, now get this, don't take everything to heart, because there are some people you can't please no matter what. You can stand on top of your head and they're going to find a reason not to like the destination or the place they're staying because they're hoping they're going to get some money back if they complain about some little nitpicky something. So really don't take it to heart. And so I look at all of them. Okay, now if I see a repeat occurrence, like it was not clean, or maybe they had water issues or something like that, don't stay, okay? Or get in contact with the owner and say, are you aware that, and there's a place you can do that. You can send an email to the owner of the business and just say, are you aware of all the bad reviews you have? Just wanted to check with you and see if you got that water fixed. So it's always good to look at the reviews. I even do that when I'm buying stuff online. So look at reviews. Sometimes they're pretty revealing. Once you have all the information, you can start planning that trip and be sure to include some required stuff to pack before you go. Again, that depends on where you're going and that kind of thing. Okay, pack lightly. You don't want to be bogged down with too much luggage, do you? Plus, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg if you're going to go ahead and take a flight. Pack only the essentials and make sure you have enough room in the bag to bring back some souvenirs, And carrying a burden of baggage behind your back or hands is not that easy anyway, but I'm going to give you a really good tip. Okay, so we have so many mugs. I mean, my china cabinet is just full of mugs of destinations we've been to. And I don't know, we just started collecting mugs, but you only have so many, you know what I mean? So instead of doing that, I like to get something that's really from that place. You know what that is? A rock. So what I'm looking for, now whether you make jewelry or not, you can find a jeweler. And I do this also. So if you find a rock you'd like to have a necklace or a bracelet or something made out of, get in contact with me and I can do it for you. I can use sterling silver or whatever. But this is what I do. I want to shop for rocks. When we're out hiking, we're walking down the street or whatever, and you look down and you see a pretty little rock. Now it needs to be flat on one side, okay? And or anything like this right here. Part of what's in this earring is something that came from a trip. And so what I did is I put it in copper. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to get to it as close as I can. This reminds me of our trip to Chicago when we went there. So you can find anything just laying out on the street, something that's going to make you think every time you're wearing that pair of earrings or that bracelet, it's going to make you think of that trip you took with you and your special someone there. So think of that. It's not going to cost a whole lot. You don't have to worry about breaking a coffee mug on the way home. And you can only collect so many, right? China cabinet's going to get just crammed full of stuff. So pack on the essentials. Think about what you're going to pack. Pack only the essentials and leave the rest at home. You're not going to need as much stuff as you think you're going to need. Watching Andy Griffith one time, and Opie was going to go stay with one of his little friends. And Aunt B had, I mean, it was only, one night. And she had this big suitcase just crammed full of stuff. And it was only going to be there like for one night. You don't have to do all that. I know my grandmother used to do the same thing. If she's going to pack for me, it would be like, I'm never going to use all this. And your grandmother's always saying, clean underwear. That is true. You do need to make sure you got clean underwear. Choose versatile items that can be used in multiple outfits. Yeah, do that. Like you can bring just if you're going to be on, like I say, a week's trip, why don't you bring maybe 3 tops and just bring different jewelry pieces with it, and going ahead and wash it out. Make sure it's something that, like this is easy care. This is something I can just wash out in the tub or whatever. And a lot of places have laundry services as well. And so you could wear this like a couple of times, maybe wear a real pretty, this has got some black in it. So you might want to put something that's got some black in it, or maybe something that has some, I think it's green. Yeah, something that has a little bit of green in it, orange, whatever. And just wear, carry just maybe 3 pairs of jeans or some kind of pants, khakis. But bring something dressy, okay? Because you might decide you want to go out on the town a little bit, go to a nice fancy restaurant. Make sure you're dressed for the occasion. And that brings up another thing. Restaurants are much more leisurely than they used to be. So at times you think, well, let's see, I think I can kind of, maybe dress up for this, and you're the only one dressed up. You might want to call the restaurant ahead of time and just say, how should I dress for your restaurant? And another thing you could do is you can also go on Facebook, look up the restaurant, and they usually have pictures of showing off of some of their customers who are in there. Check and see how they're dressed. So that's the neat thing about Facebook and about websites and stuff like that. You can get a pretty good general idea that way. Choose the versatile items that can be used in multiple outfits. We talked about that. Focus on quality items instead of quantity. Okay, quality instead of quantity. Opt out for lightweight and collapsible items, maybe like a foldable backpack. And maybe in that foldable backpack, you can put some of your items in that. So that'll kind of help too with the luggage scene. Pack clothing that can be layered or worn in different combinations. Definitely layered, because if you're leaving from Alabama and you're going to Canada, ooh, you better make sure you got layered clothes when you go there. And then when you're coming back home, it's going to be warmer. Avoid bringing bulky items like extra shoes and coats and stuff like that. Make sure you have a list of items to bring so you don't forget anything. That's really extremely important. Pack a few snacks or food items for long trips. Make sure you do that, because I'm going to tell you, you go out and you go into a destination, and they're known for having tourists. It's going to be a little bit higher buying your snacks than it would be if you're at home. Double check that you haven't packed anything unnecessary. And let me tell you something that you can do too with your clothes to get more clothes in a bag. If you'll roll them, first of all, you're going to help with 2 things. You'll be able to get more clothes in there. And another thing is they're not going to be as wrinkled. If you fold them, you're going to have that wrinkle thing going on. So get all of your clothes and just roll them tightly. And I promise you'll be able to get more clothes in there again and less wrinkles. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and cut to a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about making copies of important documents.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes.
Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna Fiesel. I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching. You are so special and definitely appreciate it. We're talking about taking a trip, going on a trip by yourself, the things you just really need to know. And so make copies of important documents. That's extremely important there. I like to take pictures in my cell phone. So this is what they are saying to do. Before you travel, make sure you have copies of the passport, your driver's license, and any other important documents. So every solo traveler needs to seek the best routes for taking out the documents. Now, the significant method is to pack your important data appropriately. And here are a few suggestions that you can follow. Ensure you have all the documents required for your travel. You know, if you need a passport, don't wait until the last minute to get it updated. You need to, I mean, months. We're planners. So our wedding anniversary is going to be in September, and I want to take a train trip. Never been on a train before, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a destination to do that. But don't wait until the last minute to make sure your passport is up to date, because if you do that, you know, it's through the government, which means it's going to be several weeks before it's ready. Guess what? You may have to cancel that trip. That wouldn't be a good thing because you didn't have your passport. Check your expiration dates of the passport, visa, and other documents. Make multiple copies of important documents and store them in different places. I like to take pictures, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be down here too. So take pictures and put that on your phone. Check out your passport has enough blank pages for any potential visas or stamps. Never thought about that. You know, some places we went on the missionary trip to Africa. I'll use that one again. So we did stop, had a layover in England, and then to Africa. It was like 12 hours both ways. Man, that was a long plane ride. And then back, I forgot where it was. It was a different destination back, another 12 hours to travel. And we had about a day we had to stay in England. So, and that was a fun trip too, by the way. It was almost like we got 2 trips in one. So that was pretty cool. Make sure you carry any documents related to travel insurance as well. Yeah, hopefully nothing's going to happen, but you need to have it available just in case. Bring along a printout of your flight itinerary, reservations, and other important information to keep the documents in a secure and accessible place during your journey. I know everybody laughs and makes fun of people who carry those little fanny packs. But I'm going to tell you what, those little fanny packs are absolutely awesome when you're on a trip. And you don't want to carry around a bulky purse or a bulky handbag or suitcase or whatever. There's so many documents you can get in those little fanny packs. And that includes any travel money that you might have as well. And you keep it tucked in under your clothes, okay? That's the best thing to do. And don't look like a tourist, because if you look and act like a tourist, somebody's watching you. I promise you, especially if you're by yourself. Plan your itinerary. This is extremely important. Make a list of the places you'd like to visit and the activities you'd like to do. Research the best ways to get around and book any activities or tours in advance. Now, the following list will definitely help you with this, okay? So research your destination to make sure it fits your goals. And then what you want to do is, let's say, map out your route and create a timeline. Now let's go back to the first one I just mentioned. That's research your destination and make sure it fits your goals. Okay, if you're going to, say, Rome and you want to look at the Vatican, you better let that one place right there be several days, because from what I've heard from friends who've been to the Vatican, and so many historic things there, I want to go someday. But I mean, it's just too big. You'll never, it's its own country, the Vatican is, and it has its own post office and the whole works. So find out about the destination and any places you would like to tour. How big are they? Because you may be thinking, well, I might need to go on 2 trips for this if I want to go to all these places, because you don't want to have so much time taken up traveling from one destination to another that you don't have time for the fun stuff, you know? So let's just think that out. Map out the route and create a timeline. That's extremely important. Make a list of activities and attractions that you want to visit. You want to create a budget and determine your accommodation and transportation options. Definitely do that. You know, taking a cab, say, in New York City is going to be much more expensive than if you took a cab in, say, Fort Payne, Alabama. I mean, it's going to be a little different. I promise it's going to cost you a whole lot more. I know we went to, I think it was New York we went to, and it was around Phil's birthday. And so we thought Phil gave a pretty darn good tip. I mean, it was like a nice one. So this guy, I mean, I'm telling you, our destination where we stayed, the hotel, was almost across the street from the airport. I mean, it was that close. The guy was expecting like a $60 tip. That was like, you know, like 15 years ago or something like that. And so I think Phil gave him $20 or something. And he just got all mad because Phil, and this, I'm telling you, it was quite a few years ago. And Phil said, he only took us across the street. We just didn't want to walk. We had all that luggage and stuff. And, but he was expecting much, much more. And he did kind of get hateful about it. Okay, create a budget. Kind of guesstimate how much a cab is going to be. You'll probably need one. Take the tram whenever possible, or take a bus. It's a little bit cheaper. Book your flights, hotels, and tours in advance. And let me tell you, I told you about on a previous show about my flight attendant friends where we're living in Charlotte, and they said if you do early in the week, like a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and make it as close before or after midnight as you can, because that's when the airplanes, the airports are changing out their inventory, and there'll be some that just want to hurry up and get rid of them, get new inventory in. So that's when you're going to get your best. So Phil and Mother and I went to New York one time, $444. That paid for 4 nights, and it also paid for the flight there and home. Yeah, that's not bad. But I did it, I think it was on a Wednesday night, and it was after midnight. And I'm going to tell you, I booked those really fast. And I had told Mother I was going to call her and let her know when I found the flights. And I thought, well, she's going to be foolish. She doesn't want the $444, 4 nights hotel, and the flight. I don't know if you can get that good anymore, but anyway, that was really, really good. That was back a while back. Make sure you do all that stuff in advance. And also, if you were to have to cancel, like when COVID hit, Phil and I had a trip planned, and I had went like 6 months in advance, to going ahead and get that flight ready. And I got such a good deal on it that there was a cancellation fee. And so I was on the phone talking to everybody, and I said, but COVID hit. I can't travel. I have asthma. I can't wear a mask out like that. I'd smother in them. Would not give me my money back. So anyway, make sure that they do or do not. If you're okay and you're getting such a good deal, it wouldn't matter. Just make sure that there is, if something were to happen, a death in the family or something like that. Okay, pack only the essentials and make sure you have travel insurance. Yes, make sure you got travel insurance just in case. You just never know. Okay, number 6, stay connected and alerted. Make sure you have roaming enabled on your cell phone. That's important. And keep your family and friends updated on your whereabouts. Be aware of your surroundings and trust your intuition. If you feel unsafe, get out of the situation just as soon as possible. Make sure there are plenty of cops around. Now, I know back in the day, Giuliani was the mayor in New York City. And I'm going to tell you what, we were walking around all over the place, didn't worry about a thing. But I don't know that I want to go to New York now. It's not quite as safe as it used to be back in the day. And that was a good trip. And so we just, it's really 24/7. Anything you want, you're going to be able to buy it. You want to go get you some coffee, you want to stay out and just walk around Times Square, whatever. That was a good trip. And I'm going to tell you, this is really, really funny. So everybody makes fun of us folks in the South because we use this tape for like everything. It's this particular tape. And so we went, we were in New York, and we were walking down the street. This is when we paid only $444, by the way, each person. 4-night stay, and flight there and back. So we're out walking, and so we saw duct tape somebody had put duct tape on the sidewalk. It's like they duct tape, and I told Phil, I said, it's one of our friends from the South probably was here, and they just had to put duct tape on the sidewalk. Duct tape on the sidewalk holding a whole street of New York together. But again, look for us, like we're in the mood now. We're always looking for like fishing trips, and one of the best trips we ever had, we went and got on Vrbo.com, and we stayed at this person's cabin. It was nice. I mean, there was a ramp out there. We went fishing and didn't have to get dressed up for anything, and we just had an absolute blast. It was just so much fun. So, people change. It's different seasons in your life right now. So we're going to plan a trip on a train, and we're going to see what that's like. Not sure where we're going to travel yet. But the next show, I'm going to talk with you about that. How do you travel on a train? I'm just dying to find that out. Thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio. You are so special. Thank you again so much. Hope you've learned some things about this trip. And by the way, this segment was actually found on atarman.com. That's ATARMAN.com. Again, thank you so much for watching. You have a great one. Bye-bye.